working. We're gonna find out if it's actually working. It is working. Amazing. Amazing. All right. Hello. Welcome. Hello and welcome. Let's see. Let's put in a little bit of a better thumbnail here. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this one. Save. All right, cool. Hello, everyone. For reals this time, we don't have to restart the stream. How wonderful is that? Hi. Hello. I arrived for the right stream because I'm still looking for the new runes to drop. Well, excellent. You did arrive for the right stream because this is exactly what we are doing today. We are going to switch scenes right now. I think I'm straight in my OBS here. All right, so we're going to talk about runes today and where to get them. Hello, everyone. Yeah, we just started in the red place, so we're gonna give the red place a moment to catch up. But we're gonna talk about them euphemistically because the purple place gets jealous. So we don't want to make, our purple overlords jealous. Hello, welcome in. So today I'm gonna do some runes. Thank you so much for the follow. Today we're gonna go get some runes. In fact, that's the thing that we can plan. I think that I would like to try and get. We're gonna try and use one of each of the runes. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I try to get my streaming setup to be as close as I can to my recording setup. It's not quite the same. I record my videos in a closet so there won't be so much background noise. We get better audio quality. Is as simple as I grind bosses every 30 minutes? Yes. So mostly. Depends on which runes. All right, so I came prepared for this. Oh, is it Silver I'm playing? No, that would be awful. So in the winter it's not so bad here. My recording closet is literally a closet that I retrofitted to be a good little recording booth. It's not that bad. In the summer, it gets so hot. In the summer, it is so hot. I have to wait and record videos at 2 in the morning because otherwise it's just too hot to be in there. It's wild. All right, so what we're gonna do is I prepared some scenes so that we could talk about runes and I could give you all a bunch of information about runes and talk about how all of this works. Because I've covered it before in other videos and bits and pieces in different places, I thought it would be useful to have all of this information concentrated in one area. So as of Preludes 12, Hotfix 11, this is where these are all of the runes that we have access to. So runes are by grip type, and which runes drop depends on whether you are farming the source in normal mode or in Koga mode. So in normal mode, you'll see the runes that are in the black outline text, and in Koga mode, you'll see most of the time the runes that are in red outlined text, right? Most of the time. Missed opportunity to name Mistgale Mistletoe. Yeah, absolutely. I am so glad that the videos are helpful. That is the goal, to help folks enjoy the game while it's still being developed. And, we're all waiting for the tutorials that I am confident will come someday. All right. So in normal mode, your bosses are going to drop the normal runes. In Koga mode, they are going to drop the Koga runes, the ones that are outlined in red. Thank you so much, PETA. Very happy for the support. Okay. The caveat to that is that it seems like sometimes the normal runes can also drop in Koga mode. In Koga mode. Now, it seems most frequent that sieges are dropping the normal Everflames way more often than they should be, for sure. So if you're trying to farm the Koga runes, sieges are not the most efficient way. It's worth doing them anyway because you might get lucky and get a drop. and because you get more infamy from doing sieges in Koga. However, it's not an efficient way to farm those specific runes if that's what you're looking for. So we'll talk about which runes drop where, but it's something to note is that it's not 100% guarantee that you're always going to get a Koga rune in Koga mode, but it is way more likely on the other runes that are not the ones that drop from sieges. So which runes drop where? Well, we have 2 maps that I'm going to share for you, and the full versions of these maps are posted in my Discord. So if you're watching on the purple place, you can do !Discord and you'll see a link to my server if you want to come and see these files in full version. And in the red place, the link is above. It's up there in my about. So here are the runes in normal mode, right? In normal mode, this is where all the runes drop. If it's circled in red, that means that the Agari that drops the rune is in an instance, in the Undercity instance. And if it's in green, it's in a Nathan's instance, and if it's in blue, it's in a Glade's instance. And that means that to get to that Agari, you have to enter that instance from the entrance that's at that spot on the map. And if you go in there and you use your bird to guide you towards the end of the instance, you will eventually come across the boss that's inside there, and it has a chance to drop the rune. So far, I have had a 100% success rate using these specific locations, but you do need to kind of follow your bird to find your way through. Thank you for the sub. Because it does get a little bit spicy trying to find them sometimes. Some of those tiles can be expansive. It is like pretty... they can be really big. It's all RNG piled together, kind of like Warframe missions if you're familiar with Warframe. Hi, sir. I love your videos and I'm watching you when this comes for PS5. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I'm really excited for it to come to console. I understand that that's a more of a process for the developers to get it launched on console, but I'm very excited that it's going to console, and I'm glad that they're, getting the controller support ready from the outset. Am I going to turn this into a video? Because we're streaming to the red place, it's going to be on my channel as a video, so you will be able to go back and watch the VOD there if you would like. So it's already becoming a video as we speak. The time is now that it is videoing. All right. So that's the deal. So now when you do sieges, you have a chance to get any of those siege runes, any of those 3 siege runes. Definitely, I have found that Everflames drop more often than the other. Both the Longblade and the Greatsword Fiery Rune are both called Everflame, and those seem to drop way more often than the other ones. So here we go. But you can get Forborn there, and there are the drop rate for Forborn from the Thrice Bound Impid seems to be pretty solid, so it's not that challenging to get. I think it'll be fine. I think it's fine. All right, so here we go. That's our normal mode. In Koga, these drops change. So here's that same map in Koga mode. So you see under siege we now have 5 different runes that we can get, and that's because while you can also get Treefell and Durglent there, it seems to be pretty rare that those drop from sieges. It seems to be much more common that you'll get the Everflames from sieges. It can happen. I've heard of people getting it, but it has not happened yet to me. So in theory, it's possible. But otherwise, this is where the other runes drop in Koga. Yeah, so if you're looking to farm these runes, what you're going to want to do is drink a Koga potion and then go kill these Agari. They respawn every 30 minutes, with the exception of the Mendicant King, which still does seem to be on a 3-hour timer. I'm sure this must be a bug. This has got to be unintended. The Mendicant King, from the moment when he was first turned into Agari, his timers have been a little bit wonky and don't keep up with the rest of them, so it's probably coded a little bit differently. And I would anticipate that they are going to fix it. You're saying a Mendicant is bug is a 30-minute timer, but you have to relog. I don't think that's always the true. I don't know that that's always true, because I have definitely relogged and come back to the Mendicant King when it should have been up for me and it wasn't up for me. So I do think that it's just buggy. I think that it's just glitchy. It I don't know. Vernal, we can go and check that, but it has not been the case for me. Are other people finding that? Koga is pretty buggy. That is true. Yeah, it doesn't work. That has not worked for me either. I'm having the same experience that Peter Newman is. Now, it could be that some people are having that experience and it's just bugged in that way. This does happen in this game. But you know what? That's okay. DE is on holiday right now. They are enjoying their time with families, and that's fine. They're gonna have some work to do when they get back, and that's okay. I have faith. I have faith. So, yeah, the Mendicant King can be really buggy. I've had times where the Mendicant should have been up, the like full 3 hours had passed, but there was no Mendicant King there, and I had to like go into Nightfold and like change my equipment and like run out of range and like come back in range, and then it would be up when I got back. So it does come, like, you can unglitch it. What did I miss? What did I miss? Someone's, oh, hydrate. Sorry. Okay, hydrating. Thank you, Nems. I appreciate you. Love that I've gotten to the point right now. If I hear a sound in my stream, I'm like, oh gosh, I must have missed something. Okay. So just to quickly recap, we have our rune list. These are all of the runes. If you're looking for runes, buy grips type. Which runes? Thank you. Which runes drop where? In normal mode, here's our map for where runes drop in normal mode. Here's our map for where runes drop in Koga mode. And again, if you want to see these images that you can refer to later, you can either pause the VOD and look at them longer. There's my cat. She's so cute, bringing us a little burb. Or you can find them in my Discord. So that's our TLDR. There, I do in fact have an overlay that doesn't have any of my alerts and stuff, but you know what? That's okay. We're just leaning into the live. This is the live experience. This is the stream. Let's actually do a Koga run so we can take a look at what it looks like when we are farming runes. Hello, welcome in. All right, so what I want to do is, I think since the other thing that people have been talking about is we're asking what do the new runes do, we are going to go do some Agari in Koga and use the runes that drop from those Agari as we do our Koga so we can talk about the runes. Can I show the best path for a tree sap farm? So at the moment, you don't really need to. When we get over there, Niblo, we can talk about tree sap. At the moment, you can get more than one sap from every tree. So as long as you pick up a bunch of sap when you're over here killing kabocha, you should be able to get your 10 sap from doing just one run over here. It's much, much easier to get sap. But when we get there, we can go pick up some sap for sure. I'm going to pull Cammy and Skull into team today so that we can run through real quick and get some Koga done. And we're going to use... Yeah, I'm glad that they made this change. It used to be that you only got one sap per pickup. And so you really did kind of need to go and farm your sap as often as you could. Ooh, I should go pick up my acorn, by the way. But now that is no longer the case. Now you can, now you can farm sap pretty easily because each sap pickup will give you more than one. Pretty great. You can tell I tend to just run places instead of using my Webbit seeds. No worries, Cammy. We're good. Oh, we've got some friends. We've got some friends. Alright, so we're gonna go kill some Koga bosses, and we're gonna use the runes that drop from those bosses so we can talk about what the runes do. So first we gotta deal with these ads. Yes, you craft the Koga potions from Verminia. That is a good question. Actually, let's go make a Koga potion. We're gonna see if I have enough sap to make another one right now. So if you want to do the Koga to get the other runes, what you need to do is first you need to have Verminia at bond 2. Thank you for reminding me to talk about this. That is a good call, Taylor. Thank you for asking that question. So, you're going to go to Verminia. You need her to beat a bond too, and you can do that by crafting figments. These figments, you can get the recipe for Sigil and Rhiannon and Epona from your faction shops, right? Faction shops. So, Epona you buy from the Alka's Children faction shop, Sigil from Silent Rose, and Rhiannon from Kith of Kings. You can now also get some progression towards her bond by crafting one of these potions, but only the first time you craft it. Only new crafts will give you progression towards bond. So those are the things that you're going to want to craft to get her to bond 2. You can only craft 1 Koga at a time. You can hold more than 5, but it's only going to show 5 in your inventory. And I don't have enough sap, so we do need to go get sap at the end. But then you also have to obviously have completed the Waste Bear Fable in order to be able to brew Koga. And the recipe you will have after that fable is done. So here's where you would go to make it, and then you claim it when it's done. And that is how you get access to the Koga. So this is where we'll go. We'll, when we get over to Kabocha, we'll get some sap, and then we'll go through, I'll show you all the crafting process again. But for now, we're going to drink our Koga. I'm also going to put on, hello! My day has been wonderful so far, thank you. Today, so we're going to put on the Hollowing, because the first boss we're going to be fighting is the Wraith of Wastes. And if you defeat him, if you get the rune that he drops, is the Hollowing. He drops Archstorm in normal mode, but he drops the Hollowing in Koga mode. This totem here. And so we can talk about what the Hollowing does. Now, to my knowledge, they have fixed the Hollowing. We're about to find out if that's actually true. And let's see. So since Gwilyn is a spirit-attuned weapon, which, by the way, looks absolutely fire with this outfit. Thank you very much. We want to make sure we have some spirit so we can get our weapon damage from this spirit-attuned weapon, which we do. Yeah, Hollowing is a pretty good one. All right, so how do we start our Koga? Skull, are you here? Thank you for all the follows. Skull's probably a Nightfold. No, Skull is sitting here on the ground, and I'm just blind. Great. All right, so then when you're ready to start your Koga, here's another tip I'm going to give to you. Are you sure you don't got to check my phone? I'm getting hazed by my own mods today. It's great. All right, so the thing what you want to do is make sure you're not too close to one of the boss spawns when you drink your Koga potion. There have been a couple of bugs when you drink your Koga potion too close to the boss mobs. Sometimes it despawns things. So just, you know, if you're not in line of sight of them, that's probably for the best. And then you drink your potion. And then everything gets spooky. And now we are concerned for our lives. I love the Cammy's crouch. It's so spooky. Okay, and now we completely ignore the fact that there are walls and we hippity hop over the cliffside because I do not care for the walls. And we're gonna go kill the Wraith of Wastes. Ta-da! Dutch wall. Mini gate. Which haircut is that one? Oh, so right now the new hairstyles are not currently working. Why are these so low level? This should have, I think these must have been like in range of us when we drank the Koga, so it's not leveled up yet. The hairstyles aren't working yet. That should be coming in a fix or update very soon. Hopefully. Alright, so here's our boss. This is Wraith of Wastes. And hopefully he'll give us a smite so we can talk about the Hollowing. Otherwise there will be certainly some trash mobs on the way to our next boss where we can talk about it. Look at all of the wonderful damage I'm doing with my Gwilyn. There we go. So now we have a smite. Alright, so what happens is that you mark a target with the hollowing and it explodes when it dies. This is a really cool one to play with when you're trying to clear waves of enemies. It's not super useful on boss fights like this because, you know, if he explodes when he dies, it's not going to help you clear the waves. However, if there's a bunch of ads with a boss fight, so you're fighting, say, the Mendicant King, and you tag his little mud monsters with the hollowing and then get them to explode, that can do quite a bit of damage to him. So it is a situational rune, but it is a lot of fun to play with. There was a bug previously that the explosion from the hollowing was causing things to not drop mushrooms when they die. I believe that they patched that out and that it is fixed now. I'm not 100% sure. I will catch up with chat when this fight is over, so I'm not replying right now. But yeah. And that is how that works. So now when the Agari dies, after he's done teleporting, I guess? I think he died mid-teleport. For Wraith's homing projectiles, are you supposed to dodge past them? Yes, I find that they're... Oh, so we did not get mushrooms. Cool. That's wild. This is a bug that I'm gonna report. Apparently if you... Okay, so here's the bug that happened. Let's all dip into Nightfold and see if it comes back. Yeah, that is a good call, Skull. What I think happened, we'll come in and out of Nightfold first before I start talking about what I think happened here. Nope, this is just bugs. That's okay. It's just bugs. So what I think happened is that because we died him because we killed him while he was mid-teleport, he didn't actually fall and drop mushrooms. So this is something I'm sure that they will patch when they get back. What I would recommend for the time being, because this can happen if you're trying to farm the hollowing, what I would suggest that you do is wait until after you see that teleport. If he's starting to get to really low health, wait for his teleport and then finish him off right after it so that he won't be mid-teleport while you're killing him. Yeah, the animation is just pretty wild. Alright, let me double check chat and see if I missed anything else. Did I hear from Steve last stream we are getting raids in Soulframe? Steve said a lot of things in that stream that he thought were interesting ideas, and he liked the concepts, but that weren't guaranteed to be in the game. So when I was doing my stream recap, I tried to be really careful with talking about things that would definitely be in rather than things that he liked and didn't necessarily guarantee in the game. Because again, Soulframe's at a really early stage still, so they're gonna try ideas out, they're gonna, throw things around, see what happens, and just because they're interested in a concept, we probably shouldn't try to read that as a full promise, because it's not necessarily a full promise. It would be cool. I love the idea. I think raids would be really fun. But what exactly that means, who knows? All right. So let's see if we can get one more show of how hollowing works. Here we go. Oh, this guy. Of course, everything's already dead every time I get a snipe proc. That's all right. There's a group of enemies up there. We'll go proc. Hello, sir. Any mind? Yeah, you can see that explosion though. It's so cool. All right, I'm gonna see if I can proc the hollowing on this group up here and show you all what it looks like when we get the full explosion. I don't know when we're gonna get to console or when we get to full access. I think, yeah, I don't know. This is a good question. Need a smite, please? Can we please have a smite? There we go, thank you. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna try and tag every enemy in this fight with the hollowing. And then we're going to try and kill one. Now, one of the things that is probably not intended with the hollowing right now is that you don't... Alright, let's kill one of these guys. You don't have to finish this while the rune is up. The mark lasts. So it's so good. It's so fun. The hollowing is so satisfying when you get it to proc. It's so great. Staff versus magic gloves. The magic gloves are now sidearms, so it doesn't have to be a versus. You can use both of them. You can just use them together. ¿Por qué no los dos? Why not both? There we go. Yeah, the reason it's not on console already is that the process of patching and updating things on console is significantly more complicated than even on PC. And then even that is also complicated to like get things certified for Steam. So at the moment, running things through their own launcher gives them a lot more control over how quickly they can hotfix. And you know that I am happy that they are hotfixing quickly. I think that is a great thing for the game. I fully support the approach that they have right now. I think that it is wise. All right, so the next boss that we're going to is Nimrod. And so for Nimrod, we're going to talk about Pictrix. First time stopping by, love your content. Thank you so much. I'm glad that you are hanging out. I'm glad you're enjoying the game. We're talking about runes and where they drop and what they do. Specifically, we're focusing on the new runes. So if you're curious about where the different runes drop, if you go back to the beginning of the stream, maybe we'll recap that at the very end too. You go back to the beginning of the stream, the VOD, I have a map of where runes drop and what the runes are. So now we're going to talk about Pictrix, which is our new Flyblade rune. Of course, the first step of any of this is getting a smite rock. There we go. Oh no, that wasn't mine. Alright, this is something I wish would be different in the future. I don't like being able to hear the smite procs from my allies. I would prefer to not be able to hear them if I can't grab them. Because I do play off of audio inputs quite a bit. What do you do after you max everything? You farm infamy. Right now, the thing to do if you've gotten everything maxed out in Soulframe and you don't need anything else from your faction standing, or you've gotten all the new talismans, you've gotten all the new potion recipes, which is an impressive grind if you've done all of that. I'm still missing one potion. Then the thing to do is to farm infamy from sieges. Because next update, sieges, infamy is going to proc a new type of encounter. And we don't know yet what or how much infamy you're going to need. Yeah, so the potions that you used to be able to automatically craft for Verminia, you now have to buy the recipes from the from your faction shops. So that would be the first thing that I would recommend. I have another day before I can swap to the last faction that I need. You buy the last potion. All right, so we're going to talk about Pictrix. Pictrix is really fun on Garen Rude. Pictrix is not fun on other packs. Why? Because the duration for Pictrix is really short. I will show you what I mean just as soon as we can get a smite here. Let's see if we can get a smite, please. Please give me a smite. Please, thank you. All right, cool. Pictrix, so fun. Duration, so short. So short. Pictrix is really fun. You'll notice, however, that Nimrod's bar is very gray. And I am not doing like any damage to him. It's fun because, you know, as long as I'm getting the heal from these other guys. My Gildor is recharging my rune. I got these like little Seekin missiles. It's so fun to use in like normal combat or against ads. Super fun, super satisfying. Not very useful against bosses. Not very useful against bosses. But yeah, Heal Heart is the Garen Rude upgrade that lets you do this, that causes any healing. So once I've gotten to max health, right, it's no longer recharging because I'm no longer healing off my Gildor. And so now the rune runs out very quickly. So Pictrix, very fun to play with. highly entertaining. You know, probably not something that I would use for a boss fight, but still super fun. I feel like I'm not doing any damage because I don't have courage on right now. So maybe that would have been better if I had actually put courage on my build. I forgot to switch my virtues. I think that's going to be a huge quality of life improvement. When they do the new virtue system, your virtues will be attached to your loadout. So when you swap loadouts like I just did, it will swap my virtues setup with it. And I won't have to worry about like my damage scaling being wrong like this. That is going to be so big. I'm really, really happy about that change. So like, I'm very much looking forward to this virtue rework. I do have like some worries about how it's going to be implemented. But I have faith in DE. A lot of times they've put things in where I'm like, I don't know that I would have ever thought to do that, but I like it. Oh my gosh, stop moving your head, sir. Alright, whatever. I can't shoot. Alright, hello. Sorry that I am missing so many things in chat today. But there we go, right? What sounds like a bug? What did I miss? What did I miss? Let me catch up with chat real quick. When started harvesting when it had 6 and it gave me nothing. When what had 6? What are you talking about? Aren't they capped? Oh, seeds. So seeds are not capped currently. And how many you get when you pick up your seed in your Nightfold is a random amount. So it's not like a set determined number. It's just a random quantity that you get when you pick up your seed from your Nightfold. Right? So yeah. It's exciting, spicy. Let's put on some courage and see what Pictrix actually does when I have courage on my build. Yeah. I think it's very strange but cool that when you proc through on Flyblaze, it removes the orbital and makes charge. So I think that that is very balanced that they did that. Can you imagine if you got all of those homing projectiles from Pictrix while also... Well, I guess we had some courage on our build. While also having the orbit, because it's every hit procs those seeking projectiles. It would be crazy OP if it let you still orbit. I think that that was smart to just fully disable orbit while that's going on. I'm glad that they did that. I think that maybe they should have done that with a different rune that we'll talk about in a minute. That was based on how many days. Oh, yeah, so definitely a lot of people do have that impression, but no, it is random. It is completely random. It would make more sense if it would collect like a seed and I think it's every 12 hours now. It's not once a day. It would make more sense if it would collect like a seed every 12 hours and then every time you picked them up, it had that many, but that is unfortunately just not how it works. If you got 3 seeds after waiting 3 days, that was a random chance. But it's how some people have so many, is if you go and pick them up every 12 hours, you can get quite a lot of them. Let me proc, or try to proc Pictrix one more time. We see how this works. Thank you for the howls, I appreciate you. There's our smite. And you can see, like, it just, you know. It seems like sometimes they do more damage than others. This is absolutely an armor related thing. And again, if I'm at max health, so I'm not getting the heal heart proc to keep the rune up, it just doesn't do as much damage. It just runs out really fast. Pictrix's big downside is how quickly it runs out, especially compared to other runes that last so much longer. So it's really fun to run on Garen Rude with Heal Heart because it keeps them up long enough to really have some fun with. I don't feel like they do enough damage that they're so OP that they needed to have that short of a runtime, but oh well. So Rex Riker, the color of soul when you smite is basically determines which ability is going to be recharged. We're on full courage now, right? We're gonna make sure we're on full courage. Full courage, let's put on a courage talisman. So if there's a red soul when I smite, that means it's going to recharge my courage ability. If it is a green one, it's going to recharge my spirit ability. And if it's a blue one, it's going to recharge my grace ability. All right, so next we're going to do the siege, and we're going to talk about Treefell, which in theory can drop from the siege. I've never seen it happen, but maybe today will be the day and we'll all get lucky. The amount of seed... Oh yeah, sure. The amount of seed you pick up as a seed or total amount of seeds... No, that is not true, Sheed. The amount of seeds that you get from your Webbit tree in your Nightfold is random. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I misunderstood what you said, Sheed. The amount that you see, right. The amount here is like how many are total in there. And then when you pick them up, Sheed is actually correct. When you pick them up, the amount that you see is the total number of seeds that you have. I'm sorry, I misunderstood what you were writing in chat. All right, so now we are going to talk about Treefell, which I feel like needs no explanation after I just did a guide on Treefell. Great sword combat is certainly interesting. Let's get a smite so we can get our Treefell going, please. Someone hit me. Thank you. Hello. Thank you so much for the bits. Thank you for your support. I'm sure they helped a lot of envoys, myself included. Thank you so much. I am so glad that they are being helpful for new people. I appreciate you. So this is Treefell. It makes your heavy attacks faster. It's really, really good on Purity. It's really great on Garen Rude. I need to take some damage. Perfect. Thank you. You really need these attack speed totems on your greatswords, though. Can you hit me, please? Thank you. Oh, not too much. Not too much. That's enough. That's enough. That's enough. The amount of stagger and like stun lock in this game is probably my biggest issue with melee combat. There's so many things that are just not avoidable. Alright, I don't know if I want to mess with you when you're making fire everywhere. No thanks. No thanks, ma'am. I will take the smite, though. I will take the smite. Yeah, so I have noticed, Cheat, that most of the rune damage bypasses armor. So a lot of runes. Now, I have not tested Pictrix enough to know if Pictrix are also doing that, although my first impressions, again, not huge with Pictrix. Pictrix is like fun. Fun and good are not the same thing. Pictrix is definitely fun. Is it good? Oh. Well, thank you for doing some damage. Why can't I dodge? I just want to dodge. Woo. Yeah, I mean, it's cool. It's effective. But we end up with this issue where, like, just because, you know, I feel very strongly that Garen Rude is the best rune for, or is the best pact for Treefell. I don't at all feel convinced that Treefell is the best rune for Garen Rude. I think that it's a little bit more complicated than that. The animation seems like you are wielding a baseball bat than a greatsword. The greatsword animations do need a little bit of adjustment. Yeah, Flitsmoke is pretty crazy. We will talk about Flitsmoke also. Flitsmoke is pretty insane. Thank you for the sub. We're gonna finish this room. We're gonna see if we get one of the new runes from this. These healers now do absolutely meaningful healing, so you do kind of need to make sure you get them first, which is pretty cool. I can safely torment without worrying about my health right now. Ooh, 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 perfect timing, perfect timing. Let's get the boss while my rune's still up. I love that for us. Let's go. Oh, I need him to tap me a little bit. Hopefully he doesn't just outright kill me. Oh, I dodged. Hooray! Good job, me. Look at that. The lifesteal from Purity is so good on a Treefell build because of how much damage it does with heavy attacks. You actually get a decent amount from the Guild War. It's pretty nice. Look at that. My team is so on top of things already there with the torch. Are you gonna end our siege, Cammy? Oh no, Cammy just prepared the torch for me. Wait, where is it? There we go. Thank you, Cammy. Alright, and so then we're going to destroy the balloon to complete our siege and find out what rune we got. The sword I'm using right now is Purity. It's the one that you get from the Mendicant King. And we got an Everflame. This is what I'm talking about. Sieges are much better ways to get the regular runes right now, even in Koga mode. You can get the Koga runes, it's just not guaranteed and the chances seem to be pretty low. Yeah, Everflame drops very, very often here. If you're missing one of the Everflames, either the Longblade or the Greatsword Everflame, this is absolutely the place to get it. Alright. So next up on our list, we are actually going all the way. We are actually going all the way up to Gruul Seeker Ruthos. And when we go all the way up to Gruul Seeker Ruthos, I'm not running. I'm not running. Absolutely not gonna run all that way. Sorry, but no thank you. I'm not gonna do that. We are switching to Garen Rude. We are switching to Orengal. And we are going to use Werewalker because that's a long way. These are the moments that Orengal is made for. So in Koga, you cannot fast travel. You cannot use Web at Seas in Koga. So it is really helpful to have Orengal to like speed run yourself to the next boss if you are trying to get there. We can go over the hill. That sounds fine. Not in Koga. Yeah, in Koga, the Web at Sea travel is disabled. It'll be a lovely thing when they finally add mounts to the game. I am super excited that I'm honestly, look, I think Web at Seeds are great. I find that I'm not super bothered about travel times anymore because Web at Seeds have solved that problem really nicely for me. Oh my goodness, thank you for all those gifted subs. That is huge. Thank you so much. I wish you could do faction tales in Koga. Yeah, that would be incredible. That would be a wonderful quality of life adjustment. Yeah, so I'm not super bothered about the travel times anymore because I feel like Web at Seeds are pretty great. Honey, thank you so much. This is so wonderful. I am, however, very excited about the bond quest to increase bond with our puppies. Oh my gosh, that's gonna be so fun. I want to know what DE is gonna have us do to like, are we gonna have a quest where we have to play fetch with our dog? I think that's gonna be so cool. That's gonna be so cool. Stag as a mount would be dope. I agree. Stag mounts. Listen, if they put deer mounts in the game, you know what I'm gonna be riding. I'm just only gonna use the deer mount for sure. We don't know what prelude it's going to be yet. The relay game, yeah, we don't know yet when it's coming, but we do know it is definitely coming. They are definitely bringing us mounts. It is definitely going to involve increasing the bond with your puppy from the Orengal questline, and then that puppy becomes your mount. So that is definitely going to be in the game. We do not know when yet. Yeah, so we're heading up to Ruthos. Let's talk about Torrent on our way there, because that is what Ruthos drops in Koga. In normal mode, he drops Alka's Breath, the other bow rune, which I love because I just enjoy single target charge shot builds. I think they are very, very fun to play. But in Koga, he drops Torrent. And Torrent is a little broken right now. We will be learning a lot about Torrent this week. Hint, hint. But at the moment, there is a bug with Torrent, which I assume has to be a bug, where basically Torrent calls a arrow hail every time you hit a target when it's active. Sorry, anytime you hit literally anything. So if you hit the ground, it calls a torrent to that spot on the ground. It is insane. The bug, I guess, is, if it's a bug, or perhaps the unintended or unforeseen consequence, is that when you hail with the torrent, every hit from that hail will call another hail. It's stupid. This needs to change. This is, for one thing, like just on a pure like PC stability level, I'm gonna run it for this one boss to show you what I mean, and then we're not gonna run it for the rest of the thing because it legitimately just lags my PC. Like that's how crazy the number of projectiles is. It's just silly. It's wild. If you don't, yeah, I have a lot of opinions about Torrent and the specifics of how it works and the good things about it and the things that make it too strong, which I will save for another time. But I promise you'll get to see all those things very soon. For the moment, though, it's still worth farming. Even if they nerfed this and made it way weaker than it is, it would still be worth it. If you are killing Ruthos with Orangol, how when you get up here? All these guys are gonna help you out. Oh, come on. There we go. See if we can actually get a smite. There we go. R.I.P. my frame rate. R.I.P. my frame rate. I'm just gonna stand still. Yeah, like that's a lot. Do we? Oh, here's the thing that bows do, where it like. Ta-da! Moss, can one of you? Oh, this is called freeze. Case in point, friend. It just crashed my teammates, so I'm gonna be doing the rest of this Koga solo. So there we go. I kind of, I think this might actually be what was crashing us last night too. Thank you so much, Fanatics? Yeah, thank you so much, Fanatics, for that super chat. I appreciate you so much. So yeah, I just crashed both of my squad mates by using torrents. This is why I'm saying that maybe don't torrent. And certainly when I'm playing solo, the torrent will just like slow my machine a little bit. It's not like a total like killer, but it has been causing a lot of problems in squad. So I do not think that they're gonna leave this here. Does the rain from torrent? Oh, and there we go. There's our drop to show that it does in fact drop in here. Does the rain from torrent have the improved smite chance from the bow talents? I don't believe so, Marshall. I believe that, and again, I am working on a video that's going to talk about Torrent among other things. I believe that the Rune specials are counted as their own different things. And the reason that I don't think so is also because I did check armor strip. And if you have the armor strip, what am I looking for? The word, totem. If you have the armor strip totem that you strip armor on hail, that does not work for your torrent hail. I guess we'll just call it the torrent of arrows instead of it only works on the hail of arrows. It does not work on the torrent of arrows, if that makes sense. So I do not believe that it works. Okay, so that's torrent. Definitely worth getting because it's still good. It's still good. We'll demo it one more time on these enemies up here. It's still a very, very good rune. It is just not. It's just very buggy in a group. It seems like it can crash your squad. Even if they fix it, right? Like this Still, you don't even have to hit anything. You can just spam light attacks at the ground and it's gonna hail on top of your enemies. I don't think it should do this. I'm gonna be real with y'all. I think this is too strong. I think this is too much. I think that it should only call the Torrent on hits. I don't think that it should call Torrent on misses. Uh-oh. This is ominous. No! RIP. There we go. But it is what it is. It's probably not going to get changed until after DE gets back from break, and then it's going to depend on how difficult it is for DE to adjust it. So the way that it works for runes, if you go back to the very beginning of this VOD, and this VOD is going to stay up, so you will be able to go and look at it after stream, and then I'll recap things again at the end of the stream. But there are different runes that drop in normal mode versus Koga mode. And so if you want Alka's Breath, you need to kill Ruthos in normal mode. If you want the Torrent, you need to kill Ruthos in Koga mode. And so we went through everything at the very beginning so that folks can just like watch the first, 15 minutes of the VOD if they're looking for that information in the condensed format. And then for the people watching now, we'll also go over everything at the very end. Oh my gosh, unless I like end my freaking thing right now by running into a bunch of mockeries. This is spicy because we can't proc our rune on these guys. Okay. Can you stop? Thank you. I feel like these guys have like crazy reflexes for dodging arrows sometimes. Thank you, Orengal. For once I actually appreciate your murder. Alright. And I'm going to take a shortcut through the crypts because this is a long way down and we can't teleport in Koga. I agree with you, Volcrocia. I don't think that Arrow Hail should call the hail from Torrent. I think that there are two different ways that they could... Well, okay, I can think of two different ways that they could potentially fix this to make it not quite so broken. I'm sure DE can think of even better ways, but the two ways that I can think of are one that there should be a miss. Misses should not summon another hail. And then the other thing is that I think that you should not be able to summon a new torrent while one is ongoing. I think that still being able to spam light attacks because of how... Guys, this hurt box is like way below their model. I think that because of how strong the torrent is and because of how the damage works and of how... Oh, the torrent ignores armor, by the way. I think that you'd still... would want to have like a cooldown where you can only have one torrent active at a time. And I think that would really neatly put it in balance with the other runes. Because if you take out the buggedness of torrent, it's actually like really well balanced compared to Alka's Breath. Alka's Breath is better single target. Torrent would be better against waves of enemies, but weaker against single target, which I think is kind of how it should sit. I would love for it to be that it's not that one rune is just hard, better, or worse, but that you would use different ones depending on what kind of situation you're trying to fight. That's the dream anyway. But that's just not how it works at the moment. So we're taking a trip through the crypts so that we don't have to run all the way down. Is this actually faster? I don't know. Probably. Come on. Oh, you're blocking. Okay. The end. Alright, now we're going to follow our verb to the exit. Talking about rune balance is funny with the other runes. Is the Koga shield rune is just bugged. We are going to talk... I think Durglent's actually up next. Durglent is the next rune we're going to talk about. So we're going to put on Durglent. We're going to talk about why it is bugged and why it needs to be fixed. Durglent is crazy when you exploit the bug. Like when you exploit the thing that is wrong with Durglent, it is like wildly powerful. Like wildly powerful. Yes, the verb leads the way. unfortunately, when you use Durglent as intended, it's super underwhelming. So really, I think that like if it were up to me, I would just take what Durglent is currently doing, tone it down a bunch, and then make that the function of the rune. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. All right. I'm going to stay on Orngal actually because it just makes it easier to get smites. We're going to go all in on courage. And we're going to talk about Durglent. So the thing with Torrent, or with Durglent at the moment, is that when you hold Durglent up, oh, I have Foburn on this right now. We got to switch that. We got to switch that. When you hold up your shield, it's going to do a little burn tick thing. By the way, it seems like there might be some kind of bug with the switching of the totems. We've been trying to figure out why sometimes your totem bonuses don't seem to be attaching. I think it might have to do with how things move when you switch your rune. I'm not 100% sure on that, so I could be wrong. I think. I don't really know. But this is something, I'm just taking off all of my totems every time I switch my rune because that's better. Actually, maybe I want to put a beaver here. I'll put my rat over here and I'll put a duck over here. Works. All right. So the way that Durglent works right now is when you block, it procs a damage over time. It procs a dot. And that dot, the longer you block, the more damage it does. This seems to be a fixed amount. I have not tested yet extensively enough to know if that is actually correct or if there are other things that can affect the amount that I haven't found yet. But so far, in general, rune damage procs seem to be fixed amounts that ignore armor and are just however much they are. So it seems like Durglent's tick taps out at 100 damage. Again, not 100% sure in that. This Thrice-Bound Impid is, I'm going to double check my own rune list here to make sure. Yep, Durglent is one of the things that drops from here. So Durglent can drop from this guy, Thrice-Bound Impid. However, getting rune procs on mockeries is not, is annoyingly not a thing. So we are gonna just try to defeat this guy and then we'll talk about how the rune works on something else. Fortunately, we could do that and that helps a lot. And we can just like, ooh, okay, hold on. Great. Great. Thank you, doggo. The dogs are surviving so much better now. Like, he's taking a lot of damage there. Like, that dog is taking a beating. Yeah, it finally died. I didn't have Howl up to heal him, so, like, cooldowns are becoming, like, a big deal in Koga. The cooldowns are a lot, which is putting us into kind of an unfortunate place where, like, you just need a kin on every build. There's no option for, like, not running a kin. Oh, come on. I'm gonna do this for my own sake. Great, thank you. Oh, I still knocked him down with the shield on the back run. That's amazing. I love that. Alright, there we go. Now we have a killed Thrice-Bound Impid. Hello, Najambra! Yeah, we're talking about all the different runes. And so we're talking about Durglent, but unfortunately we can't proc our rune on the Thrice-Bound Impid. We did not get a rune drop. It can happen, but again, it's not guaranteed. So let's go down here and we're going to kill some of these enemies over here. And we'll talk about what Durglent actually does and why it's so broken. Got every win except Treefell because that's the one I want, so it won't drop. It do be like that. That's how it was for me. It drops from both the Mendicant King and one of the bosses in the Undercity. And if you check out my rune map, it has the boss that you get it from there. All right. So let's go talk about what is going on with Durglent. So I'm going to try and proc my rune here. There we go. Great. So I'm doing a damage proc that's going to increase the longer I hold this shield up. We're at 82 now. The thing is, this damage multiplier gets added to my weapon damage as long as my rune is active. So now my weapons are gonna have that multiplier attached to them. Like, it's wild. And if you combine this with Garen Rude, where you can just basically leave your shield up forever, the damage that you get attached to your weapon is insane. Is insane. Insane. So basically, Pictrix refuses. Oh, okay. I don't know if I did a great job of explaining that. Let's see if we can find some more enemies to try it out. Ooh, I need to heal though. Why can you run away so fast? I hate this like back up and like knock you away. It makes it like impossible to get to kill these guys. You don't have a ranged weapon. Yeah, this is like wild. Wild. Maybe you need to kill him with each talisman. All right, hold on. I'm gonna catch up on chat. What are we talking about needing to kill with talisman? Is there a reason I can't build the triune talisman if I have the other 3 required to build it? You should have. If you have all 3 of the fragments, you should be able to build it. It's not enough to just have the 3 talismans. You need to have 3 fragments for the triune talisman. And you get the fragments by defeating the Circade when he attacks you in the overworld. Alright. Let's see. Yes, the rune drop map is both at the beginning of the VOD for this stream, and it's posted in my Discord if you would like to see just an image that you can save and use. Does this rune proc lifesteal on polish apply to shields? Yes, it does. So in fact, we'll just hop over onto Garen Rude, and I'll show y'all. We'll see if we can find some mobs. Let's go over to Garen Rude, and we'll pop on our number. All right. Where can we find some more mobs? Probably down here. I'm gonna try and find a few more Sinecure enemies so we can talk one more time about this. How did the Dungeon Nagari work? Did they also respawn in 30 minutes? Yes, they do respawn every 30 minutes. And to get the instance Agari, you need to enter from specific entrances. And so the map shows you which entrance you need to enter from to find each Agari. In fact, you know what? A lot of folks are asking about this. Let's just look at the maps again real quick. So this is in normal mode. This is where everything drops. And then this is in Koga mode. These are where all the runes drop. And again, in sieges, the normal runes are still dropping in Koga sieges. It seems to be a chance. Also, it seems like I see it. Ads are starting soon. We'll pause with answering questions while the ads are running. Are ads starting soon or ads are going? Ads are going. Okay. We'll finish answering questions. Someone who's not stuck behind ads, please let chat know that we will finish answering this question after ads are running. Hello, Saki. And thank you for letting me know that I needed to look at chat and notice that ads were going. I just want a club weapon and soul frame so much. I think we are going to get maces eventually. I feel like they've mentioned that. I don't remember for sure, but I feel like they've mentioned that. I'm looking for mobs. Okay. Okay. Here's mobs, so we can try our Garen Rude, our Durglent. We can try out our Durglent. I don't want to do this until the ads are done. What are we gonna do? Ads are so long. I should have snoozed them. They mentioned runes and packs and wilds. Yeah. Did you talk about Mistgale yet? No, we have not gotten to Mistgale yet. Mistgale is up next. So we're doing Durglent right now because we just did Thricebound Impid. And so I wanted, since we weren't able to proc smite on Thricebound Impid, we are going to proc smite on this group up here. And then we'll talk about how Durglent is broken and why it needs a fix. And then we'll talk about Mistgale. Why Mistgale is... Well, we don't talk about Mistgale. We don't talk about Mistgale. We are going to talk about Mistgale, but... Orangol has higher unarmed damage with the claw. It does? Because of the claw, yes. Every pact has its own unarmed damage. It depends on, like, each pact has its own, like, punch stat. Can I ask your thoughts on Soulframe release date? What's your opinion, optimistic scenario, and what's realistic? Ooh, that is a great question. I don't know. I think that it depends on... I think that we'll get a really good sense of that in the next 6 months or so. I can see a future in which they go to open beta this year. I can see a future in which they go to open alpha this year. By which I mean 2026. I can definitely see that. I think ads are done. Are ads done now? No, ads are done in 4 seconds. Great, ads are done now. Hooray! So I can see. Someone asked when I think Soulframe might be open access. I think that it's possible this year in 2026. I mean, I think it's possible 2026. I think a lot depends on how much they roll out in the next couple of months and how well it lands. Because remember, we're getting a new combat art system. Combat art's getting completely reworked. We're getting a new virtue system completely reworked. So how much fixing those things end up needing after we get them is really going to make a huge difference in how quickly we can move from this limited access alpha to like an open access alpha and then an open beta. I think it just depends, and I wouldn't want to hazard a guess without a little more information. All right, so we have our Durglent, and as you can see, yes, the Durglent shield tick is proccing my heal heart. Still a little bit too much aggro. So it's just like we're just able to hold this up so long, right? So long. And, ooh, okay. And we are going to get a heal. Please be, sir. I saw you. Oh, now I'm trying to like get to the point where I can actually show you the damage that this does. Like that's 800 damage, and I wasn't even holding it up that long. Like crazy. So this has the potential to just do like tons of damage, and because this like modifier for how long you hold it up seems to be applying to all of your weapon damage, it's wild. Yeah, so for instance, yes, it is crazy. This can produce damage numbers that are stronger than the old Fellas. Like it's nutty. This is not how it should be in the game, in my opinion. This is something where I need to heal. Let's do one of these. Thank you. Let's do one of these. Like, this is crazy. How's my rune duration so long? This is the Garen rune build that I am using, is what is making that rune last so long. And I just did a video about it. So if you want to know how to get that set up, it is in my most recent Garen rune video. So yeah, basically it seems like the damage multiplier that is making your Durglent shield proc rune, your Durglent rune damage proc stronger the longer you proc that block, is actually being applied to your weapon damage as well. And so it is making everything do crazy damage. Yes, it works with flyblaze. It works with literally everything. So again, I'm going to say this one more time and then we're going to move on. It seems like the damage tick from Durglent, that has a multiplier that just makes it deal more damage the longer you have that block up. And it sounds like the multiplier that makes that tick do more damage is actually being applied to all of your weapon damage, not just the Durglent proc. And yes, you are correct. It is cracked. Like, it is insanely strong. If you can get that to the max multiplier and then you have Garen Rune to keep your shield up, it is just like stupid damage. It's too much. It is way too much. On things like bows and flyblaze, it results in some really crazy numbers. It cannot be intended. However, that functionality is actually better than Durglent by itself. So I think, personally, I think that I would love to see that change to be an intended functionality of the rune and just reduce the multiplier so that the numbers aren't so insane. Because that would actually be really fun for a shield rune if you do more damage the more you block. That would be super cool. The issue right now isn't that it does that. The issue is that the damage multiplier is just like way too much. Oh, on bows, I am sorry. I said bows because I love bows. I meant on the gauntlets. Because you can have the sidearm gauntlet with Feybolt, and then you're going to get all these like crazy multipliers stacked on top of each other. It would be insane if you could get on a bow. That would be wild. Imagine a hail of arrows with the Durglent block. That would be silly. Anyway, yeah, sorry about that. Thank you for catching that. I totally misspoke. Next up, we are going to talk about, what should I run this with? Next up, we are talking about Mistgale. Let's take Garen Rune to make our smite procs a little bit easier. And we're going to talk about Mistgale. We've got to talk about it. Do I wanna? No. Are we gonna? Yeah. We're going to talk about Mistgale. Mistgale is funny. That's what I think about Mistgale. It's cute. I actually want to rat here. I'm going for smite chance. What are we going to put else here? Sure. Why not? Now we are going to do we want attack speed? Or do we want, I think, more damage? Oh no, maybe we want armor strip. There we go. Yeah, my main issue with Mistgale is how hard it is to aim. Your aim with Mistgale is at the mercy of your melee combat target lock. It's unfortunate. It's a cool idea. So the idea behind Mistgale is that when you proc it, it makes your sword into a ranged weapon. In theory, we should be able to get a smite on these guys. Oh my gosh. We are supposed to... Oh, I should just use my... Oh, I don't have my flyblades on. I'm a dummy. Oh, Orangal, I needed a smite. Oh boy. Oh boy. This is not going well, chat. Help me out, doggo. Can we attack him, please? This would be a great time for you to knock something over. die here. Come on. Yeah, I knew it was gonna happen. That's fine. We'll drink another Koga and we'll do it again. Hello, hello. One of my many issues with melee combat is that the animations on a lot of the boss fights, where things hit your character, does not match up with the actual graphical representation of the enemy. And that, unless you fought that enemy like hundreds of times to learn exactly where in their animation patterns you have to dodge, makes it really, really hard to block or dodge. It just gets really challenging. No, not today in Leaf, because I'm trying to get through certain things before we end stream. So I'm trying to get through this kind of quick so that we can show specifically where the new runes drop and everything. It's going to be a shorter stream today for that reason. All right, so we're going to do another Koga. We're going to try this guy again. Realistically, what I should do is go get some more potions before I do another Koga, but we're just going to cheat a little bit. First, we're going to demo Mistgale on something not a boss. Because really, it was kind of ambitious of me to try to demo Mistgale on a boss, because Mistgale is underwhelming. Mistgale is underwhelming. I'm sorry, we have to say it. Mistgale is underwhelming. Do you think they'll fix greatsword blocks? I think that they will fix... So, the greatsword blocks, I think, is an issue of the animation locks in greatsword in general. I'm gonna find some enemies. I think I might do a quick relog to just get some enemies to demo stuff on if we don't find enemies up here. The issue I think is primarily the animation locks. That there's just really long stretches of greatsword attack animations that lock you in where you can either block nor dodge to cancel that animation, and so you just get railed by things. There are, like, man, I have so many opinions about melee combat right now. There are a lot of places where the character models of the weapons don't match up with where you actually have to be to not get hit. So even though it doesn't visually appear that the weapon is connecting with your character, you still get hit by that attack. And that makes it really, really hard to do melee in some fights unless you've actually spent the time, like, dying over and over to learn where all those places are. I'm gonna try and get a smite just so I can... Oh, I'm gonna have to drink Koga for this, I'm sure. I want to just try and show you all what Mistgale does before we move on to the next thing. But we are gonna go kill... the Nell Knight. I've heard some founders are keeping their flowers instead of planting, so no way to know for sure how many there are. That is true. I have heard that as well. Some founders are just holding onto their flowers. I got founders on 2 different accounts and still have flowers on one of them. But there are a lot. Yeah, there are many, many, many gardens with flowers right now. Alright, so we're going to put on Pricklies to increase the chance of smite. Surely, between Pricklies and Howl, we will be able to get a smite. And look at how this works, right? There we go. Oh no! I did the wrong one. That's fine. We can get another smite. We can get another smite. We can get another one. It'll be fine. There we go. Did I switch now? Yeah, I switched. Alright, so here's Mistgale. Where are my swords going? So, like, look, the swords do great damage, right? The swords do great damage. If the swords would go where you want them to go, this would be a very good rune. If these would actually, like, fly in a direction that I aimed... But, like, even when I'm trying to spam block to aim, it's still going where my character is pointed. It's not even going, like, towards the reticle. They just kind of fly off. Like, this would be so good if you could aim it. The damage is really solid. The vibes are immaculate. Like, it's such a cool idea, but you can't aim it so much you can't aim it. That is my one issue with Mistgale. I'm kind of thinking that, so I've been doing P12 pact builds, and I'm going to try and do a different rune with every pact build so that we can look at how each of these runes work. And I've kind of already spoiled which rune is going to be this week. But, you know, I'm kind of hoping that I can save Mistgale for last because, again, this rune would be so good if you could aim it. But because you can't aim it, it's really, really rough. It's really rough. And then the Nell Knight down here. What did I miss? What did I miss in chat? The Nell Knight down here is where you get it from. But I'm going to put on a different weapon. I'm going to put on a different weapon so we don't have to deal with it. What did I miss? Yes, that is Mistgale. It is really cool. It looks good. You just can't aim it. The way you read your scripts in your videos is really enjoyable. Thank you. I feel like it, you know, I feel like I sound weird, but I spend so much time listening to the sound of my own voice that I'm probably not the best judge of that. It kind of goes with the territory of having to edit videos, because you have to listen to the audio and the video over and over again. Have I got Splitbolt? Yes, I have. We will talk about Splitbolt. Very soon, actually. So after Nell Knight, we're going to go up and do, I think we'll do Kabocha last. But we'll talk about Splitbolt when we get to Kabocha. Alright, so this is Nell Knight. I have switched to Alka's Breath, because I just love Alka's Breath. And we're going to see how much easier it is to kill the Nell Knight when you're not in melee combat. Because I don't have to worry about animations that don't match my character model. The guy coming for me. Oh, thank you, sir. I want a smite. Please give me a smite. Thank you. Oh, I believe I do have ducks on this character. Oh, I missed. The duck totem, the new duck totem, makes you deal more damage when you are airborne and you have a fully charged shot. Okay, that's fine. That's a lot of damage. That's 955 damage. I like it. I'm here for it. Makes me happy. Do not work for DE. They snooze extra hard. Aw, I'm glad the doggos approve. I'm glad the puppers approve. Yeah, for sure. I think also, you know, our voices sound different in our own heads than they do to other people. So the voice that I hear is not the same voice that everybody else hears. So part of it's just like a weird cognitive dissonance when I'm listening to recordings of myself and I think I sound really different than I do to me. Yeah. All right, we already did Durglent. That's what Cynicer Errant Goth drops, so we'll skip that one. And we will talk about Flitsmoke. I'm actually going to use Flitsmoke. Do I have Flitsmoke on? Alright, yeah, I'm going to put on a short blade so we can talk about Flitsmoke. And yes, we're in Koga. And yes, we're going to run a full Grace build even in Koga. Watch me not care. Full Grace build in Koga. How could you? Easily, like this. You know, so part of the way that the reason my voice sounds like it does is that I was a singer. I studied voice in school. I sang a lot in college. And so, yeah. Hopper, I need a smite, thank you. Alright, Flitsmoke makes you invisible. And the duration of Flitsmoke refreshes every time you kill someone with a finisher. It already had... Wolf, I needed that kill. Yeah, the duration refreshes when you kill an enemy with a finisher. It has a pretty long duration. The only catch is Werewalker will end that invisibility. So if you're using Orangol and Flitsmoke, just keep in mind that your Werewalker will interrupt your invisibility from Flitsmoke. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and proc a smite off one of these ads while we kill Goth. Or really proc a smite off literally anything. There we go. Making sure Flitsmoke is out. Now we are invisible. We could just finish our way to victory. Surely this is balanced. Surely that is balanced. I think it's wild that Pictrix has such a short duration and does so little, and yet Flitsmoke has such a long duration and does so much. Like, that's crazy to me. Look at this. I'm like running around looting stuff and I'm still invisible. Flitsmoke is insane. Flitsmoke does not drop from Syndicare Errant Goth that we just killed. Syndicare Errant Goth drops Durglent. Flitsmoke does drop from the spider, from Etheldred the Weaver, who drops down here in the hole. But before we kill Etheldred, because I don't want to climb out of the hole again, we are going to talk about picking up sap. So the places that I like to go to pick up sap is this tree here on the edge of Etheldred's hole. And then there's a couple of trees over here. We're going to go through and we're going to pick up Webbitwood sap. Yeah, you end up with like insane backstabs. Flitsmoke is just crazy strong. Just crazy strong. It's so good. And there's some sap up here. Where's the sap tree up here? There's one here up by the tower. Makes it easy to find. And again, I'm getting several sap from each tree. So it makes it much easier to get the 10 that you need. Alright, so there we go. So now I have 11 sap already. I don't even have to get the other ones if I don't want to. Picking those up around there, it's just a lot easier to find those particular saps, and it's right next to your root. And so then once you have enough sap, and of course the mushrooms you get from both defeating Agari in normal mode and in Koga mode. So as you're doing Koga, you'll get more mushrooms for more Koga. You go over here, you click this, and you brew. It still takes 2 hours to make a Koga, but you just always have one cooking. Yeah, so Flitsmoke drops from, it does not only drop from the spider, it drops from, well, it only drops from a spider's, but it drops from this one, and it also, let's look at our map, it also drops from the spider that's in that Neathan's instance by the center of the map. So if you enter Neathan's at the entrance that's by that icon, that Flitsmoke icon in the center of the map, you can also get Flitsmoke from that spider. It's called, I think, Seniscal, I think? I don't remember the name. I don't remember how to pronounce the name, but it starts with an S. It's another spider. So those are the two places that you can get it. Koga is when you drink that potion. The reason that my sky looks all spooky right now is because I drank a Koga potion, and it puts the game into hard mode, basically. You'll see on my character, I have these like little red icons in the bottom left of my screen, and that means that I've been debuffed because I am in Koga mode. And I have less health, my cooldowns get a whole lot longer. Yeah, we have Splitbolt on. Great. So it makes the game harder. Enemies are tougher. And if you die, then you start over, basically. The TLDRs don't die. If you're in a squad, since you can res each other, it only restarts your Koga when everyone in the squad dies. So it's a little bit easier to do in a squad than solo. But yeah, it's fun. It's an interesting challenge. I really enjoy Koga. I don't find it super impossible. I definitely find that I'm better at it with some weapons than others. So we're gonna talk about Splitbolt. You gonna get a smite proc? No, I was hoping we'd get a smite proc. Hello? Can we have a smite, please? No, he's running away. He's like, I don't want a smite. Leave me alone. There we go. So what does Splitbolt do? It makes your spear be more spears. I have mixed feelings about Splitbolt. I need to test it more to feel like I have a solid opinion on it. So far, I have mixed feelings about Splitbolt. Just grabbing sap while I'm running through here. And this is what I'm saying about, you don't really need to target farm sap anymore. You can just kind of grab it as you're passing through to get Kabocha and Goth and Etheldred, and you'll get plenty of sap for what you need. I have mixed feelings about Splitbolt. The reason is that the extra spears don't do much damage. I feel like if they did damage, they would be great. But we'll see if we can proc this on Kabocha. Hello? Can I have a smite, please? There we go, thank you. The one thing that does make Splitbolt really great is that all of the spears knock them down. Sit down, sir. Oh! Thank you, actually. I will take another smite. Right, so they don't do that much damage. I feel like this would be really good if they did damage, but they're doing 1 damage. Oh, did I not put courage on? This might be on me, friends. I might have not put courage on. Did I not put courage on? I feel like I have courage on my build. Oh, it's saying that I have courage now. This is weird. That might have been a bug. Alright, let's try again. Let's try again. Yeah, so the center spear is doing damage, right? But the other ones are not. I think it showed me a gray bar because one of the side spears hit. So this can still be nice, I guess, for knocking him over and then doing finishers, I guess. Oh, I guess it thinks he's still on the ground. But really, those extra spears just need to do more damage for this to be truly good. It is great as a knockdown tool, though. It is absolutely fantastic as a knockdown. The rune turns you into Steinex, kinda. Yeah, kinda. It kinda does. Right? That's a pretty... yeah, it's a pretty good analogy. It kinda drops you into turns you into Steinex. And, you know... This is good. It would be better. It is genuinely strong to be able to knock down a whole field of enemies. That's what makes the rune good, is when you're going up against a bunch of mobs and you can knock down all of them in one spear throw. That is actually pretty strong, right? That is actually pretty strong. But getting only 1 damage out of those extra spears is not good. So I think that they do need to adjust the damage on the extra Splitbolt spears a little bit to make it kind of on par with the other runes that aren't stupidly broken. I think the broken ones just need to be fixed. So yeah, so now our last boss that we're going to run before we end stream is going to be Etheldred. And then at the end of stream, for folks who are watching in the purple place, we are going to hop into Marbles and give away a whole bunch of codes. So if you are watching in the red place, then you can hop over to the purple place if you are interested in a code drop and come and check that out. It's because the purple place gets jealous of the red place if I mention them. I'm probably walking too close to the line even with that. But we're gonna, oh, rare deer, rare deer. Let's see if I can get this. No. I have not yet been able to actually pet a rare deer. It makes me so sad. I'm just not good at the rhythm game. All right. Oh, I was so. This might have been on me, chat. I was running Grace instead of Courage and using a Courage spear. So realistically, what I should do before I make up my mind about what I think about Splitbolt is run it on full Courage, because it probably is doing that the Splitbolt spears only get a portion of your main spear damage. And so if I were doing a like full courage build and getting maximum damage out of my spear, then the portion of damage would be higher, and so it may be that the Splitbolt spears wouldn't be doing 1 damage, but I don't know. I will definitely test that more thoroughly before I put out a video that talks about Splitbolt, so we will have an answer for you. But today we're just kind of like talking about what all these different runes do. And we're going to give a try at killing Etheldred with Flitsmoke. If one of my mods could answer the questions about the colored platforms, that would be great. Yeah. Okay. The rare totems are not always paled colors. They usually are, but sometimes they get rare totems that look like normal totems. And I don't know if that's a bug or if it's just that like the rare totems have a chance to be like extra rare. I'm not sure. Hello, Maggie. How are you? All right. So we're gonna try and kill Etheldred and Koga on a Grace build. Let's try. Let's see what happens. Can I have a smite, please? Thank you. The problem is that you can't finisher these bosses. Oh, Etheldred just like slamming the ground. Yeah. So, you know, this is just not helping me out right now. And this is kind of why I wanted to show it and why I wanted to do it last. Is that like, I mean, cool, but like, it basically means I don't have a rune. Yeah, the end. It basically means that I'm stuck with like stabbing Etheldred with a dagger. So if you're going up against a boss that can't be finishered, you're going to want to have another weapon on you that does something more impressive against bosses. So that is the big downside of Flitsmoke. It is really, really OP against mob that can be finishered and does almost nothing against bosses. And Werewalker has the same issue. If they can't be finishered, then it's big RIP. All right, so once again, like I said, we are going to talk about, we're going to recap the beginning of the stream. So quick recap before I end stream for our Red Place friends. These are all of the runes that you can get in Preludes 12. And yeah, these are all the runes that you can get in Preludes 12. The ones that are outlined in black are the ones that drop in normal mode. The ones that are outlined in red are the ones that drop in Koga mode. In normal mode, here is where those runes drop. This is where you would go. If they are circled with a color, that means that they drop from an Agari that is inside an instance, and the entrance is at that location on the map. If you enter the instance from that location on the map, then follow your bird through that instance, through that dungeon, then it will lead you to that Agari, and that's where you can go to kill that Agari to get that rune. Hopefully. It's not 100% drop rate. It's not too bad, but it does take a bit of grinding. And then here is that same thing in Koga mode. Hello, Bert! Mods, can we get a shout out for Bert, please? Bert Birkins. This is another wonderful Soulframe streamer. In Koga mode, the drops from sieges are not 100% guaranteed to be the new runes. In fact, I've gotten Everflame way more frequently from sieges than any other rune. So you can get the new runes to drop from sieges. It's just a chance. It's not a guarantee. It's just a chance. So if you're trying to farm Treefell or Durglent, I highly recommend you kill the Agari that drops them. Or the Mendicant King, which does in fact have a bugged timer at the moment and is still on a 3-hour timer instead of a 30-minute timer. All of the other Agari are on a 30-minute timer. I believe that sieges are also on 30 minutes, but I could be wrong. Skull, you have farmed sieges far more than me. Am I correct that sieges are also on 30 minutes? Must be a great thing to know. I bet Skull knows the answer to that. So yeah, there's our rune list. Skull doesn't know either. Yeah, maybe they aren't. Yeah, I think they might be longer now that I'm thinking about it. Or it is 30 minutes. Sieges are still 3 hours. Yeah, I thought that they were still long. I do not think I farmed them more than you. All right, maybe I'm underestimating the amount of farming I do in Silverame. All right, so for my friends, I do think sieges are still 3 hours now that I'm thinking about it. You know what? We could probably find that out real quick because it has been less than 3 hours since I last did a siege. Is it the same timer in Koga and normal mode? That's another great question. Let's find out. Let's find out. Sieges are 3 hours. Enough people in chat are backing me up that sieges are 3 hours. I'm going to say that sieges are 3 hours. And look, here we have confirmation right here. We did this siege less than 3 hours and more than 30 minutes ago, and it does not look like the siege is up. I don't see the balloon here. Should be a different timer on Koga, but I guess it's not. That's another good thing to note, though, is that they are on the same timer. I'm going to go farther away so I can be sure that we can actually see the balloon. And yeah, there's no balloon there. The red balloon would be up there if the siege was up. So since the red balloon is down, it means that my siege is still down, which means that sieges share a timer in Koga and normal mode. So if you're trying to farm your sieges, every 3 hours, share a timer between normal and Koga. Unfortunately, I hope they change that. Well, I don't know. Mixed feelings about whether or not they change that. It might not be an issue when they add more sieges. Because, like, presumably this castle and this castle will be siegeable one day. But for now, this is what we got. So yeah. All right. Can you see it on the map? No, at the moment. Oh. No, I believe this is just the lore thing. Yeah, because this would be different. These would look... Oh, I see what you're saying with the when the flag is not filled. Thank you. Gutyume? That is good to know. That must be what these flags mean. When the flag is empty, it means that the siege is up. That is good to know. I learned something new today. That's awesome. Thank you. So what Gutyume is just sharing with us in chat is that when this flag is filled, it means your siege is already completed. When the flag is open, it means that you have a siege available. I also see a little red balloon there, but it sees on the both of them, so it just be the flag that is the indicator. Fascinating. How do you change that? I'm sure there is a setting. I do not know what it is. Probably under interface. I don't know. I will see if I can find out and have that information for next stream. For now, I want to say thank you all for hanging out. I am going to now hop over to Marbles. Thank you so much for that gifted sub, Anonymous. We're going to hop over to Marbles to do some code giveaways here on Twitch. So if you want to join us for that, it's going to take me a moment to switch over onto that to give some codes to folks. So yeah, so there'll be time. I'm still here. We're gonna do a marble run. If you are watching from the if you're watching elsewhere in the place that we must not name, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope this information was helpful, and the VOD will be here for you to look at all that information. And until